Hi Derek, it's Sarah. My name is Pat and I'm one of the construction managers with Epic and I'm involved in the building of your home. Today is Tuesday, October 6th, and we're doing a virtual pre-drywall video. We're going to walk the complete exterior of your home, the interior of your home. We're going to talk about many things. I'm going to point out locations of all the electric that we've installed in your house, all the low volt, all the locations of everything that we've installed in your house. I'm wrapping up rough inspections this week and moving to insulation, and so this is the point in time where we do what's called a pre-drywall video. We're going to start outside. I have a checklist that we are going to work through today. We're going to talk about the grading and drainage, the gutters and downspouts, the elevation of your home, the electrical locations, the low volt, plumbing and mechanical locations. It's too late to make any changes, so no change orders from this point forward, and then the projected schedule. So as I'm standing here on your driveway, we're looking at, you've selected what I term a 4095 plan, which is the side load garage, 2-stall. We've got a combination of siding. We're in the process of installing the masonry, all of the stone masonry, and we'll be wrapping that up this week. You can see the entry. We still have a little bit of siding to do after I finish inspections, plus stone work to do around the single stall garage. These are my wonderful stone masons here taking a break. But all this masonry will wrap up this week. You can see that on your house and your elevation that we get horizontal and vertical grids in the windows. There are houses that get no grids, some that get a different grid pattern, but this is the grid pattern for your elevation. You see we've got the timber corbels below the cantilever in that bedroom, front bedroom. Downspouts, we got the gutters installed, half of the downspouts on. After we finish all masonry, we'll come back for the downspouts, and then we'll begin to, then we'll go to paint. You can see the high gutters going down to downspouts down to the low roof. This all drains to the front. We've got a downspout at this location, which will come alongside the corner of the garage down and out to the front yard. Got 2 coach lights, one on either side of the 2-stall garage and one on this side of the single-stall garage. We'll talk about the switching of those as we get inside. We're going to walk around the house, and as we walk around on the front elevation of the garage here, we've got a combination of stone, siding, again, high roof coming down to low roof drainage, and then downspout coming down. This will kick off to the right or to the west. We've got the stone applied to this house, or to this side, with all of the ledge on. As you can see, there are penetrations through the stone here. We've got a white pipe sticking out, and this is the sump pump ejection pipe, which will elbow down and then elbow out to grade, and I'll show you that as we get into the basement. We've got a front hose bib, and then we've got another copper pipe sticking out of the ground. This is your sprinkler or your irrigation tee. So this is where the valve box for the front landscaping and rear landscaping will be located. And the valve box that we installed not only accommodates the front valves, but there's also room for expansion for the rear yard landscaping. So this is there'll be a vacuum breaker installed here going down to the valve box. As we come down the wall, you can see we got the service outlet on this side, basement window L. Then we can see the penetrations here. We've got, this is the kitchen hood vent above us. And then we've got the main electrical distribution panel. Electrical service comes underground, comes into the panel that we have set. These orange tubes coming out of the ground are the Comcast, Xfinity, CenturyLink, whoever your provider is out here. They will set a termination box here. These are all the low volt wires coming from your panel in the basement. So we've got Comcast, we've got TV, telephone, and internet location. This is the grounding block for the low volt termination panel. Inside of this panel, this is our main distribution. And you can see that we've got a main power disconnect. And then we've got a couple on here. So this is the sub panel location, which this is called the sub panel. We've got furnace breakers in the event that we need to start firing the furnace if it gets too cold. So this is the main distribution, and then this being the sub panel, where most of the house lighting and outlet circuits will be. We'll probably have the heavier breakers on the main circuitry and the main panel, i.e. the air conditioning and furnaces, your double oven, and things like that that require more power will be in the main distribution panel, and then in the sub panel will be all the GFI receptacles, all of the lighting circuits. So these are the two circuit panels, main distribution and sub panel. As we move around to the patio, you can see we are prepped here with, this is the last for the masonry adhesion. We do a base coat of masonry application, then we install the stone with another masonry product, and then we grout the joints of the stone. So this is the back patio. You can see we've got a covered patio with lighting above. We have a switched outlet, which I'll point out when we get inside where that switch is. Again, gutter on the back deck cover, back patio cover with a downspout, which will come alongside the column and kick to grade. After we finish all of the masonry and painting, then we'll go to fine grade. We'll be building this grade up, and I'm going to show you a little bit about that in a moment. As we move around the rear, you can see window well from basement window, and we got a vent hood there. That's for that's for a vent from the mechanical room. No other penetrations on this side. As we move to the east, in the rear, this will be tidied up and look better. It's just in the rough stages, but this is the rear hose bib location next to that window well. As we move around to the east side, rough gutters are in. This is the fireplace vent. And then we got a bunch of pipes sticking out of the wall here. We've got 2 pipes because you've got, or 4 pipes because you've got 2 water heaters, which I'll point out in the basement. One is for intake and one is for exhaust on the water heaters. This is air conditioning condensate line from the upstairs unit on the 2nd floor, which I'll point out to you. Then we have the furnace intake and exhaust piping. This is the condensate line air conditioning condensing unit for the main floor and basement will be here. And then this is the power, the 220 power for the air conditioning system. A 110 service outlet is here. In the event that we or any of your future needs, there's a service outlet here for servicing the air conditioning unit. You can see there's no other penetrations on this side, other than we've got a bath fan, 1 bath fan penetration. This is the gas meter location. Gas meter will be set here in the next 2 weeks. Right after I finish my rough inspections, that'll be released to Excel, and they'll come out and set the gas meter. As we move around the front again, we're going to move into the 2-stall garage. And so here we are walking in. This is a great garage. It's got a little deeper end on this side. Electrical options in the garage. You've requested another 110 dedicated circuit, and that's this outlet here. You can see I've got DED written here. We got service outlets around the garage on every wall. So we've got power on all 4 walls. Additional power. In the ceiling, we've got 2 ceiling lights. We've got 1 power outlet for the garage door opener. Then we have low volt wiring going down to both sides for the safety sensors. So we've got power. On this side also, you'll see this little blue box. This is our second means of grounding for the house. We've got a UFER. It's called a UFER, or a concrete encased electrode. There's a piece of rebar going all the way down through the foundation into the ground. And then we got ground wire coming from your main electrical service connecting to that that piece of rebar. So there's another means of ground, which is down at the water service area, which I'll show you when we get down there. So we got main CEE ground, and that stays exposed. This is the gas pipe from the gas meter going into the house. And that's about it for the 2-stall garage inside the garage area. This all gets drywalled. Anything here, this all will drywall. This exterior wall standard does not. I'm going to briefly look at your options here. I don't think you've requested us to finish your garage, but I'm going to double check right now. No, I do not see that on your option list. No finished garage. But all of this will be drywall, all the green, and against the powder room, all of the ceiling will drywall. The front wall, supporting wall of the garage door will also drywall. So it'll finish out pretty nicely. We'll move over to the single stall garage. In the single stall garage, we've got a switch at the owner's entry, and that'll turn on the ceiling light that we have here. We also have a power outlet and low volt wire again for the garage door opener. service outlets around the garage. Now this back wall of this house, of this garage, this is generally where the landscapers plug in the irrigation clock. So you'll probably see your landscape irrigation clock plugged into this location. But service outlets on both of the other walls. That pretty much wraps up the garage areas and the outside. We're going to take a pause. We're going to move inside, go through the house, then we'll come back outside and do a wrap up. Okay, here we are at the owner's entry, and as you can see in the owner's entry, we've got our drop zone here, the coat closet is here, we've got power around the entry area, service outlets. At the door to the garage, there's a light switch, and that's to turn on or off the traveling. I call them traveling lights, so the overhead lights at each area. You'll see in the garage here, we've got two switches in the garage. One is for the lights in the garage. The other is for the three-way switch to the coach lights on the front of the garage. And that is on a three-way switch so that you can operate those either from the owner's entry or from the front entry. And I'll point that out when we get to the front entry. So also, so as you come into the owner's entry, switch to turn the lights on above. We've got a keypad, security keypad pre-wire at this location per your request. That's what this black box with what white wire is. Owner's entry. As we move in through the owner's entry, we've got the lights on above us, but here's the powder room. As you enter the powder room, the door swings to the right. There are two switches on your left. One is for the fan, and one is for the light above the sink. So we have a stool, a lav, pedestal lav, and a light above the lav, and a fan. So we leave the powder room, coming into the grand room and kitchen area, and on the left are two switches. We wire all rooms very logically. As you enter an area, there's a switch to turn a light on ahead of yourself and turn off a light behind yourself, so you're not having to travel all over to turn switches on and off. So we got a three-way switch to turn on the lights ahead of yourself in the grand foyer, and to turn off the lights from the owner's entry. So we're going to move to the front foyer. And as you can see, these are the traveling lights. We have got above my head in the entry, we've got the wireless access point pre-wired here. That's the black box with the blue wire. We've got recessed cans, lighting, three-way switches here. There's two of them. And one is for the lights on ahead or behind yourself, and then the center chandelier, the three-way switch, which operates from the front door as well. This is the thermostat location for the furnace for the main level and base, which services the main level and basement. This thermostat, high above it is the door chime. That's what these brown wires are. Thermostat and door chime. So as we're in the foyer, you can see at the base of the stairs, furnishing outlet here. We have service outlets on the wall. Three switches inside the front entry. One is, as I mentioned, we've got a three-way switch for the coach lights on the front of the garage, operate from either here or at the owner's entry. We have a recessed can on the front porch, switch for that light. Also on the front porch, a waterproof outlet, and the doorbell located here under the window. So that's where the doorbell goes, waterproof outlet, recessed can above. The third switch here is the three-way switch for the center chandelier. So you can turn the chandelier on ahead of yourself, or as guests enter, you could turn off behind yourself as you enter the grand room or the kitchen area. We're just going to move right to the other owner's entry at the single stall garage. Very similar to the other side. In the garage, we have got a light switch for the overhead lights in the garage. This is the garage door opener location. Service outlets, coat closet on the left as you come in, and then this is the study. You've opted for double doors to the study, so the doors will open as such. In the study, past the door swing, there are two switches. One is for a ceiling light pre-wire, which you've requested. The other is for a half-hot outlet. In every room, we put a 1/2 switched outlet. So, and it's always across the room from where the switch is. So for example, this is the half switched outlet. And at trim, that will be upside down, and that's how you'll be able to tell that that's what that is. So you can plug a lamp into that and operate it from the switch. We also have a ceiling light pre-wire. Outlets around the room. No additional low voltage requested in the study. So 2 switches, ceiling light pre-wire and half hot, outlets around the room. As we enter from the owner's entry, from the single stall garage, there's a switch here next to the closet, and that's going to turn on what I call the travelers ahead of you. So you've got overhead lights with a smoke detector outside of the study. And if you're going to the guest bedroom or to the foyer, we turn the lights off behind yourself. So this is to turn on behind yourself, turn off behind yourself. Enter the guest suite, and there's a switch to turn on traveling lights ahead. And then as we move into the sleeping area, there are 3 switches on the wall. And one is for the ceiling light pre-wire you requested. One is for the half switched outlet across the room, and the other is to turn off the traveling light behind yourself. So 3 switches, ceiling light pre-wire, half switched outlet, and then the traveling cans. We got service outlets around the room on all 4 walls. Also, walk-in closet for the guest suite, and there's a switch inside the closet for an overhead recessed can. This will get rod and shelf in the closet. We can move into the guest bathroom. You'll see as you walk in on the right, door will swing to the left. On the right, there are 2 switches. One is for the light above the lav and the light above the shower. Another switch is for the fan. We have a fan above the stool. So we have a lav with a power outlet next to it. We have a light above the mirror and a light above the tub, above the shower. We've placed that shower head at 84 inches. Make sure it's plenty high for anyone. I'm 6'1", and this is plenty high enough for me that you know what, I won't have to duck to get wet. So, shower, stool, lab in the guest bath. As we move back to the owner's entry, as I had mentioned, we've got garage coach lights, the hallway, and the chandelier switches here. So as you're in the foyer, you've got the chandelier on, and then as you enter the grand room, turn off the chandelier behind yourself, turn on the traveling lights ahead of yourself, the recessed cans and the drop ceiling, and then we're in the kitchen. So in the kitchen, as you turn the corner to the kitchen, we have 3 light switches here. One is for the recessed cans in the kitchen. The other is for the pendants above the island. And the other is for the dining fixture. Now, according to your electrical mini, you've asked for this dining fixture to be centered on the island and centered on the patio door. And that's exactly where it is. We've got 2 pendants at the island, and we split the island. So we've got one here and one here. So light will shine down equally on the island. It's also recessed can over the workspace, and over the workspace at the range. But here, we've got the pantry, and in the pantry we have a ceiling, we put a ceiling light. There's a switch inside of the pantry for the pantry lighting. Double doors to the pantry. As we move around the kitchen, on this side is our refrigerator wall. So we've got refrigerator, then we got double oven, we got water for the refrigerator. This is the 220 circuit for the double oven. You've got an oven combo. You've requested horizontal outlets around the room, and those are all set at 38.5 inches. And those will look very well in your tile backsplash. Also, down low, below countertop, we've got a microwave oven or a drawer. I haven't investigated to see if it's just installed or if it's a drawer, but this is the power for your optional microwave. At the range, you've requested that the gas line be stubbed here, even though you're going with a convection cooktop, and we've got 110 and 220 power for the convection, whichever is required. Above the cooktop, we've got a hood. This is a chimney hood, and this is the power for the hood, for the fan and the light in the hood. Again, horizontal outlets around the kitchen, above all cabinets. As we move toward the sliding glass door, you've asked for a phone pre-wire. That's at this location, outlet at 38.5. And then there's 3 switches on this side of the room. And the recessed cans in the kitchen are on a 3-way switch, so you can turn them on as we entered, you can turn them off over here, or vice versa. We also have the outside recessed cans in the covered patio. We've got recessed cans. So one of the switches is 3-way for the kitchen cans. The other switch is for the recessed cans. And the third switch there, you've requested a switched waterproof, a switched outlet in the ceiling of the patio cover. And that's what this is here. And you'll see down here in the stone, next to the patio door, is a waterproof outlet. You can see back here, we're wrapping up masonry this week. We should have the masonry done. So moving through that process as well. So here we are back in the kitchen, dining area. And then we move over to the grand room. And in the grand room, we've got service outlets all around the room, in both niches. Our switches for the grand room are over on this side. And we've got a bank of 3 switches here. One is for the recessed cans you requested in the ceiling. There's 6 recessed cans, all spaced equally and centered on the windows and each other. We've got a ceiling fan pre-wire, center of grand room, which takes one of these switches. And the other third switch, again, is for the half hot across the room, or the half switch outlet, 45 degrees from where the switch is located. In the niches, we've got power, as I mentioned. This switch here on the right-hand niche around the corner, this is the switch for the fireplace. Above the fireplace at 75 inches, you requested a power outlet, also a conduit at the 75 inches. That conduit comes down to the CP port that you've requested next to the fireplace. So those wires would come down and plug directly into the CP port. There is a pull string in that conduit, so it's easy to pull cables to and from. CP port, conduit, and power. Also have power outlets everywhere around the room. So again, as we leave the grand room, we can turn off any or all of the lights or the fan. Here we've got cans, ceiling fan pre-wire, and the half switched outlet. So moving back down the hall, we're going to make our way upstairs. We got lights on ahead of ourselves, traveling. We're going to turn off those travelers behind us. We're going to turn on the center chandelier ahead of us. And I had mentioned that that's on a 3-way, but really it's on what's called a 4-way switch, meaning that there are 3 locations you can turn that chandelier on and off from. One is at the entry, one is there at the foyer, and the other is at the top of the stairs, which I'll point out as we go up. So as we come up the stairs, regarding the foyer chandelier, I'm currently standing directly under the location, the standard location of our chandelier, which is at the base of the stairs, and it's basically centered on the entry, so it evenly illuminates the whole foyer area. So that ceiling light pre-wire, or excuse me, the ceiling chandelier is center of the stairwell, meaning from wall to sideways, wall to wall, and centered from the front door wall to the landing wall. So I'm currently standing directly under the standard location for our foyer chandelier, which works very well for illumination all over the stairs and the entry floor. So as we move upstairs, we get to the top of the stairs, and as I had mentioned, the end of the chandelier 4-way, there's a switch right here. So you can turn off that chandelier behind yourself as you're coming up or as you're going down. The second switch here is for our travelers again, as we move through the traveling area. Right at the top of the stairs is recessed can. There is a smoke detector. And then as we move into the loft area, these lights are on by that switch. And those loft light, these lights are on a 3-way switch. So as you would enter the secondary bedrooms 2 and 3, you can turn those lights off behind yourself. Then again, turning lights on ahead of yourself. There's also a half switched outlet across the loft. And that's this location right here where it says 1/2. So we've got a half switched outlet, service outlets. Because you've opted for the open rail, we have floor outlets. So there's 2 floor outlets pre-wired in the floor, and those will be trimmed in the floor coverings that you've selected in this area. So as we come around, you can turn the recessed cans off behind yourself. We've got the half switched outlet, and then traveling lights moving ahead to the secondary bedroom area. On your left, we've got the dual bathroom. Inside the bathroom, there are rough in for 2 lavs, power outlets on either side of the vanity, and 2 lights above, one above each sink in the bathroom. So there's a single switch to turn the lights on above the mirror. Got a linen closet off to the left, and as you move into the tub shower room, around the corner from the door, there are 2 switches. One is for the recessed can above the tub shower, the other is for the fan above the stool. So you can call this the double bathroom, the Jack and Jill, whatever term you're using, but this would be the secondary bathroom for bedrooms 2 and 3. So as we're back out in the hallway, we've got a switch in the hallway, and that's to turn off the lights behind yourself, or if you're coming from the bedroom, you can turn on ahead of yourself. Into bedroom 3, the center bedroom, 2 switches as you come in. One is for ceiling fan pre-wire, the other is for the half switched outlet on this wall. Got a walk-in closet in both bedrooms. As you walk in, light switch on your left for a recessed can, which there'll be rods and shelves in this closet. Move into bedroom 2, again very similarly wired and staged. 2 switches coming in. One is for ceiling fan pre-wire, the other is for the half switched outlet across the room. Got power outlets all around the room, no additional power requested, nor any low volt requested. But then we have a walk-in closet again with a light switch and recessed can inside the closet. As we leave the secondary bedroom areas, we'll turn on lights ahead of ourselves going down the hall. We'll leave this area. This is just a drywall opening. We turn off lights behind ourselves, traveling lights ahead. This is the upstairs mechanical room. This is the furnace and air handler for just the top floor. This has its own air conditioning system and unit, condensing unit outside, and heating furnace up on this top floor. All of the upper level heat registers or cooling registers, supply registers are in the ceilings. Then we have return air coming back to the unit. This will be explained in great detail as to service, but before you take possession of the house, we do a complete and thorough furnace cleaning, and we vacuum out all ductwork, clean all ductwork, supplies, returns, everything gets spotlessly cleaned before you take possession of the home. So as we move into the master area of the home, we've got 2 switches as we enter the master suite. One is 4-way switch to turn off lights behind yourself. The other is turn on the lights ahead of yourself. On the left is the laundry. Door swings in. As you come in, there are 2 switches inside. One is for the overhead lights. The other is for the fan. We've got washer, dryer, cabinets. We've got outlets above countertop all around the room. Also, this is the location, the laundry room in this plan, that we place the attic access. So in the ceiling of the laundry room, this is our attic access. And if you look up inside the attic access, you'll see a light and a power outlet. That's a service outlet for anything that you may need to service up there, or any power that you may need if you add anything in the future, but also a service light up there. So as we leave the laundry area and we move to the master suite, we got the switch to turn lights off behind ourselves. As we come in, there's a single switch for the overhead recessed cans, and that's our traveling lights. Then we've got 3 switches, and those are for the master area. We have got one switch is for the ceiling fan pre-wire. The other is for the half switched outlet underneath the window. You've also requested, I'm assuming you're making this the bed wall, above the bed on either side, you've requested ceiling light pre-wires with switches at this location on either side of the bed. So we've got ceiling fan pre-wire with switch, power outlets on both sides of the bed, and service outlets around the room. the low volt options that you've selected for the master. We've got a CP port, low. We also have a conduit going up at, I believe it's, bear with me, I want to say 75 inches, but I want to confirm that. I'm looking at your electrical mini right now. And sorry, that's at 72 inches, not 75. So we got power at 72. We've got the T, or the conduit, coming from the CP port, which is cable, satellite, and cable and phone port. As we move into the sitting area, as you can see on the left column over here, we have a switch, and that switch is for the recessed cans in the sitting area. No additional low volt, but we got power all around the room. There are 5 outlets in the sitting area. Plenty of power to place any type of devices or use any type of devices that you wish. You might notice that in this sitting room, I've got an open hole here. This has been open for 3 weeks now. This window has been back ordered. I got notification this morning, Tuesday, that the window is in Denver. It'll be delivered tomorrow, and I'll be getting it in as quickly as I can get it in. So in the master bedroom, got the coffered ceiling, ceiling fan pre-wire. This blue box is smoke detector, which is required, and it's required at the high point of each room or each area. So then as we enter the master bathroom, as you come into the master bathroom, there is a switch to turn off lights behind yourself. As you come in, we got one closet on your right. That door will swing to the left. There's switch inside for the recessed cans in this closet. Then we've got the master stool room. Door swings left, 2 switches inside. One is for the light and the other is for the fan in the stool room. Then we're in the master bathroom. And I've got 5 switches in here. I've got a 4-gang and then a single box. I've separated the fan. We do have a fan outside of the shower area, and I've kept that switch separate just so you don't accidentally turn it on. So when you want it on, it's going to be on. You're not searching and hunting for a light switch and turning the fans on. But the other 4 here that we have got 3-way to turn the lights off from the hallway. So you turn on as you come down to the bathroom, turn off when you're in here. We've got vanity lights above each vanity. We've got a lav, mirror, light above, power outlet next to the vanity. Same on the other side. We have got a lav, power outlet next to the lav, light above the mirror. The other switch is for 4 recessed cans in the general area of the bathroom, the open. We got 1 centered over the freestanding tub, 2 on either end of the tub, and 2 behind. So we've got recessed cans in the general area. We've got the vanity lights, got the hall 3-way, and the other is for the cans. I have separated the lights inside of the shower. We have 3 recessed cans inside the shower. We've got 2 rain heads, diverter valves, and handheld locations on each end above the bench per your request. So there's a lot going on in this shower area. Dual shower, center drain, dual rain heads, 3 recessed can lights above, and freestanding tub outside of the shower. This is an awesome bathroom. We also will be building wooden boxes above the rain heads so that we get a little bit more room temperature. And you can see I've got those lines insulated. So we're going to build boxes over the top to keep a little room temperature going through the drywall to the rain heads. Also, it's buried in insulation above, so we run no chance of any lines freezing in that ceiling. So we walk to this side. This is the other walk-in closet. And due to the size of it, I would guess that this is probably Sarah's closet. But we've got a light with 2 recessed cans in this closet. There'll be rods and shelves per our standard drawings. We've got a his and her closet. We've got a beautiful shower room with a freestanding tub, his and her lavs, and master bedroom front with the sitting area. So as we leave the master bathroom, we could turn off lights behind ourselves, turn on the travelers ahead, turn off behind ourselves, and then we're entering the suite again with the switches ahead of yourself. So that pretty much wraps up the upstairs. We're going to pause and we're going to go down to the basement. As we get ready to go down the basement, you can see on the right hand side here there's a light switch. That's to turn on the recessed fan at this landing and the landing below. So we've got a light going down, and as we get to the bottom of the stairs, we'll let our eyes and camera adjust as we come down. We do have two switches here. One is to turn off behind yourself, the other is to turn on the lights ahead of yourself. Again, as you leave the finished area, stairwell, turn off lights behind yourself, another switch right around the corner inside, and those turn on the basement lights everywhere. You can see right in this little niche here, this is where we have the low volt panel and your security panel will be. Unfinished basement. We close off the base of the stairs. Back in the front corner, this would be the northwest corner of the basement. We have got a vapor, you can see here, written on here is a vapor pipe, another white pipe. This is a power supply, and this is what we fondly refer to as our water tree. Our water tree is where the main water service comes in from the street. This is our electrical bonding, our second means of electrical bonding. We have got a shut-off valve, so this turns off the main to the rest of the house. We have another shut-off above. That's so we can isolate the pressure reducing valve. If this ever needs service, we can isolate that area. Here, this little torpedo is called a hammer arrestor, and that's to prevent, that's on the irrigation line. This copper line is the shut-off for the irrigation system going outside. Little bleeder valve here, so that in the fall, after you blow out your sprinkler systems, you can open this up and you get any residual water draining out, so nothing will freeze over the course of the winter. So this is the irrigation. This is the main going to the water heater location, which we'll see in a minute. So this is the main water service coming into the house. This white cap here is a clean out on the interior drain system. We install a complete interior perimeter drain around the inside of your basement foundation walls, down below footings. And that is installed so in the event that there may be any water percolating up through the ground or any residual atmospheric water filtering down through the ground that deep, it will seep into that collective drain and take it to, I have a sump location here. And in the front, right here, we have, this is our sump pump location. This will be opened up, cleaned out. We install a sump pump there. This white pipe is the ejection pipe going out the side of the house, which you saw on our exterior walk. But this is the ejection pipe for the sump pit. This is the power for the sump pump, and we'll be installing that pump. This vapor pipe, we install a vent pipe on top of the perimeter drain system that is below ground. And that's so that any vapors or anything that would seep up through the soil would naturally vent up into the atmosphere. This goes all the way up through your house and through the attic and through the roof. So anything that may come up through the ground, as far as vapors, vents through this natural vent going through the roof. Nothing else through the unfinished area here. Steel column. This week I finished all of my rough inspections and third-party inspections. Now tomorrow, Wednesday, we'll be filling that in with concrete. So all of our posts are welded. On this side of the basement, between the windows, you can see we've got a clean out. That's just another clean out going to the sewer system. We've got the bathroom rough in. Those are the white pipes. The large one is the stool. We've got lav, depending on how this bathroom lays out, and a shower. So we've got a lav, stool, tub, shower, drain here. Again, model post, welded. You opted for a second hot water heater. So we've got dual 50s here. Everything is plumbed and gas piped correctly. This is the furnace, an air handler for the main and level and basement. So this service is the main level and basement. And you'll see in the basement that we do have heat vents coming down in periodic locations. Just as if we were finishing the basement, these are the same locations that the heat vents come down. This larger square one is the return air. So we got one return going back to the return ducting and then supplies everywhere around the basement. So back to the mechanical area, you can see we've got a floor drain and all these white pipes coming to the floor drain. Well, these are condensate lines in case condensation builds up in your furnace, and it mainly happens during the summer when you're running an air conditioning system. Well, it goes to a pan inside and drips and runs right into the floor drain. We've got two pipes here. One is for the condensate line all the way from the furnace up on the second level. And this larger pipe here is a laundry drain. So from your laundry room, we have a drain in the floor up there. In the event that there would be an emergency or an overflow, there is a drain. The washing machine, we do provide a pan at closing for your washing machine to sit in to collect any water that may get out of the washing machine. This white vent on the floor is just what we call a Studer vent, and that is venting the sewer pipe. So we've got dual water heaters, air handler. This will be explained in great detail at the orientation, how things work. We've got smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, ceiling lights, and over on the wall here, you may wonder what this is. Well, this is what's called an anti-scald device, which we're required to put on so that and this goes right up to the master bathtub. So this controls the temperature of the water to the master tub. And we don't want, or the building code is looking out for young children scalding themselves at a place where they can turn water on easily, namely the master bathtub. So this regulates somewhat the temperature of the hot water going to the master tub. That'll be explained to you a little bit more deeply at the orientation as well. So that pretty much wraps it up inside the house. We're going to go outside. We're going to pause. We're going to go outside, and I'm going to wrap up our conversation and visit today and talk to you about a few remaining things. You know, Derek, and sorry, I mentioned something earlier which I failed to touch on, which I'm going to touch on now. From my checklist here, the grading and drainage. We didn't really talk about that, but we're going to now. We looked at the gutter and downspout locations, the elevation with the window grids, the electrical locations, the low volt and security locations that are pre-wired. We looked at all the plumbing locations and mechanical. But something that I didn't usually do right in the beginning, and I failed to, I apologize, is just briefly look at your plot plan. Now, you have what we call an A lot, meaning that your rear yard and everything drains to the front, to the street. So in the back, well, first of all, this is the outline or the footprint of your concrete foundation. That's what this is. This is property line side. This is property line rear, property line side. The outline or the footprint of your foundation. This right here is a swale that we're going to be putting in your backyard, and we're going to split it right about the center. There'll be a little bit of a high point. Excuse me. Yeah, here's the high point on this side. I apologize. HP. And that drainage is going to come around to the side lot line and down to the front, and then from that high point it'll come around. This would be the west side and down the property line. But we're required, when we finish grade, when we're all said and done, we're going to be doggone close to every percentage of grade, every elevation that is stipulated on this plot plan. This is a great handy diagram for you to have to talk with your landscaping contractor, or if you're going to do your own contracting. You know, you are required to maintain minimum drainage distances, which is explained to you in your owner's manual. And we can talk at the homeowner's orientation deeper as well. A lot of information on here. There's a little legend in the lower right corner about what all the symbols mean and what things are. But main thing right inside the house, we're building a 4095 plan. We've got a finished floor elevation, a top of foundation elevation. So your finished floor elevation is 5,399.6 feet above sea level. All of these related elevation points are related to that as well. So we're going to have drainage flowing away from your house. It's going to come around in the swale line that we're going to create. Hopefully we won't make this too drastic in the backyard so that it's fairly usable, but you can see what some of your neighbors are doing as well. A lot of information here. This tells us how many steps there are from the garage into the house, out to the outdoor room, 1 step. coming up the front porch. There's 4 steps coming up the front porch, 5 in the single car garage coming in. So a lot of helpful information here. And if you have any questions, just holler at Kyle and he can get with me and I can explain things in greater detail if you wish. If you don't have a copy of this, make sure that you get one from Kyle. So it's very handy and useful document to have. So then back to our front page here. We've been through everything. I didn't see anything as I walked through all of the electrical and all of the low volt. I didn't see anything that we were missing, but please come this weekend and walk your house. And I know that you have come out and walked, but make sure that I'm not missing anything. And if there is, just get with Kyle and we can talk about it, or we can look at it, and I'll get anything adjusted that I need to. As I mentioned, I'm moving through rough inspections this week, and I'll have my last inspections today, Tuesday, all of my city inspections, which there are 9, and third-party inspections, and I'm moving to insulation beginning tomorrow on Wednesday. I'll have insulation installed Wednesday, then I have energy inspections on Thursday, and if all goes well, I'll be stocking drywall Friday and begin hanging drywall on Monday the 12th. So that is my plan right now. And what that translates into is my tentative timeline. And that's the last item that the projected schedule that we're on. And right now we're projecting that this house will complete in the mid-January timeline somewhere. Now Kyle will communicate with you weekly as we move through the drywall stages. And after drywall, here's how it rolls. I move to insulation. I have all my energy inspections and duct testing done. Make sure that all sealants are in place properly. Then I move to drywall. Drywall is about a 3 to 5 day process in hanging the drywall. Then I have inspections again, make sure everything's fastened and secured properly. Then we move to drywall finish, which is about another 4 to 5 days. So about 10 days total on drywall. Then after drywall texture, we move to cabinets and to hard surfaces, meaning floor tile, floor hardwood, tile surrounds in the shower, the mud set shower bases. All of the hard surfaces go in after cabinets. Once we get all cabinets in and we start that tile and hard surface process, we do a QA on the cabinetry. If there isn't anything missing or anything wrong, then we can pretty much narrow down the schedule as to where things are rolling. And we'll communicate that with Kyle so that he can communicate with you and you can plan accordingly. But right now we're trending toward, after the holidays, your house will be complete. So just stay in touch with Kyle weekly and you're gonna see steady progress just as you have on the outside and on the inside as we move forward. If you have any questions, like I mentioned, get in touch with Kyle so he can shout at me, and if we need to spend any time together, we can call, we can do a Zoom, whatever you choose, but just let me know. And it's been great having you as customers with Epic, and I look forward to finishing your home with you, with my partners out here, Craig and Sean, and Derek and Sarah. If there's anything we can do for you, just let us know, and we'll make sure that we get things taken care of. Thanks for your time today, and talk to you soon.